You are never alone. You are never alone. Just reach into your heart and Allah is always there. You are never alone. You are never alone. Through sorrow and through grief, through happiness and peace, you are never alone.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Welcome to a new episode of Family Issues. In this episode, we'll be continuing our series about how to be a good role model to your children. Who is your ultimate role model? Naturally, it is the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. How to be a good role model begins from choosing a good husband or a good wife. The importance of dialogue between the parents. Father and mother have to take their responsibility 100%. What would happen if we neglect the children, if we don't give them the good role model? What are the characteristics of the good role model between sincerity, between doing what I'm saying, between having good manners, and much more is to be discussed inshallah in this episode regarding how to be a good role model for the sake of your children and your society and your religion at large. How to be a good role model for Muslims. We will be very glad to receive your phone calls here, dear brothers and sisters, on 00202 38 555 248 or 249, and we would also like we would welcome your comments and questions and suggestions on our Facebook account. Please also do contact us via Facebook and also via mail at familyissues@huda.tv. Your comments and suggestions are always useful to us. And time now to introduce you our distinguished guest here in this episode. He is Sheikh Hamoud Shmimri, the director of the Islamic Education Foundation in Jeddah, Saudi Arabia. Assalamu alaikum, Sheikh Hamoud. Jazakum Allahu khairan. Thank you for being with us here in this episode.
It's my pleasure.
Where do you want to start when we tackle such an important topic, a topic that must be in the mindsets of all parents? All parents are really worried about this. They want to make sure they are giving their kids a good role modeling. So where do you want us to start?
First of all, alhamdulillah, wa salatu wa salam ala rasulillah. And I also would like to thank you for hosting me, and also thank you, Al-Huda TV, for inviting me for this program. Actually, I would like to start from, day one. The responsibility of the father towards his children actually start before his marriage. So, the responsibility of the father toward his children by choosing his mother. So that's what I mean, his responsibility toward his children actually from the beginning. So because choosing a good mother will lead him, choosing a good wife will lead, eventually to a good mother. So this is actually the responsibility of the father towards his children is actually from the time he chooses, his wife. Now, the responsibility of the father is, unfortunately, my brother, there's a lot of fathers, or I would say mother and father, parents, they do care about his children only in, materialistic things. Like, they care about accommodation, they care about food, they care about clothes, they care about mobiles, they care about,
the schools they send them to.
Yes, they give them, like, sometimes maybe the father is rich and he can afford to buy a car or or a mobile motorcycle for his son, and they care for the ladies also to furnish them whatever they need, and they care for school. They would like to register their children in the best school. They also care when they get ill. They want them really to be healed soon, and they will spend a lot of money for the hospital. They also care during examination, school examination.
And might give them private lessons.
Yes, private lesson. But they forget something more important. Okay, all this is obligation on fathers or parents, both of them, toward their children. And it's good, you know, it's very good from a father and mother to take care of such things. But what about religion? Where is your responsibility as a father, you know, to the religion? You know, few people, you know, nowadays, you know, they who care that his son or his daughter are memorizing the Quran. A few only people who care about, you know, their children who really, is he really performing salah, especially the son when he is, you know, 15 years and above, does he go to the masjid? Is he really showing good manners? Is he treating his parent properly? Is he treating his neighbor properly? Is he treating his teacher in the school properly?
His brothers or sisters?
Yeah, I mean, mother and sisters and grandmother, grandsister, the whole society. You know, this is, in my opinion, you know, the responsibility of the father starts from day one. You know, this is the, and also one more thing. How do you expect your son to be a good model, and you yourself as a father are giving him, you know, you are showing him a bad model? In other words, the real, I mean, the good father who really who doesn't contradict what he say with what he do. So you will find some fathers, you know, they ask, don't do that, you must pray, and he doesn't pray. Don't smoke, and he smokes. Don't do that, and he does that. So if the son sees father is contradicting what he's commanding or ordering his own children, they will not listen to him. So it is very important for the parents to be good example themselves and not to contradict what they say to the children if they want them really to be good, pious, righteous children.
Indeed, Sheikh. Taking the Prophet ﷺ as our ultimate role model, sometimes you feel it is so difficult because, I mean, this is the Prophet ﷺ. So how can you even, you know, match 1/1 of his character? So your advice here when we try for ourselves, for our hereafter, to imitate the Prophet ﷺ, and then for our kids to be good role models for them.
Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has commanded us in the Quran, وَلَكُمْ فِي رَسُولِ اللَّهِ أُسْوَةٌ حَسَنَةٌ. So we, all Muslims, actually, suppose, you know, of course, definitely no one can be exactly like Rasulullah. Even the companions themselves, you know, who followed his steps, step by step, they could not be. A prophet is a prophet, and a regular person is a regular person. But Rasulullah has also told us, you know, that to follow his sunnah, and to follow, you know, as much as we can. And you know that, you know, my brother, that the Muslim is not a good Muslim if he doesn't love Rasulullah more than himself, and more than his father and mother, and more than his own children. So if we really love Rasulullah, we don't just say love by words, L-O-V-E, and that's it. If you really, really love, you should follow his instruction, his teaching, reading his hadith. Try your best, first of all, as a father, and you also, the children, if they've been adopted properly by the father, we should really take him as an example, you know, on honesty and performing salah, in Sawm, in Hajj, treating the poor, you know, staying away from all bad habits, you know, following his manners, being honest, being sincere to Allah and to the people. Really, you know, but definitely, for sure, you know, we don't expect the people to be perfect like Rasulullah. But, you know, any Muslim who really care for his religion, and he care for actually responsibility, his obligation towards his children, and he's a real, inshallah, good Muslim, he will try his best to teach his children, also teach himself to follow the steps of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam.
Let's say you committed a mistake in front of your children, and you know that it was a mistake. For instance, you kept on shouting for minutes, and that left him in a state of fear. They were fearful of that, and maybe for no good reason. Maybe you did that also for no good reason. What do you do here as a parent to correct that mistake and try to make it to limit its bad effects on your children?
Well, that's really a good issue. You know, they need, as a father, do not expect your children to be perfect, but you yourself also to avoid, you know, your children not really to take or actually implement what you've told them. You try your best as a father not, to give them a chance to catch, mistakes or errors with you. So also we have to be forgiving. And I advise myself as a father, I am also seizing the chance to talk to all brothers and sisters here. One of the problems that many children run away from home because there is no dialogue. The dialogue, the dialogue, the dialogue. In other words, do not, force your children by force, by threatening them, by shouting at them, by yelling at them, by slapping them. Children may run away from the house. And I can assure you, my brother, that many children have run away from their house, even girls, because of mistreatment. They don't have a chance to have dialogue with their parents. When they want to talk to the father, especially, the teenager, they found their father's ears are blocked. His chest is actually completely closed. The father, both father and mother, must open their chest, must open their ears to their children, and also to forgive. Don't expect your son or your daughter to be perfect, because they are human beings. We are human beings. As a matter of fact, Rasulullah said, if you don't make mistake and you ask forgiveness, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will have taken you, completely demolish you, take you away, and then bring other people who commit mistakes.
So if you do such a thing before your kids, you shall explain to them, hey kids, I was wrong.
That's right. You have to admit it.
Right.
You have to admit it.
Even before them.
Yes. Yes.
Sheikh, allow us to get in a dear caller now.
Sure.
We have with us brother Nizar from Qatar. Assalamu alaikum, brother. Thank you for calling us. Go ahead.
Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Go ahead, brother.
Really, just we are living in Qatar, myself and our family very happily.
Yes.
And inshallah, there is no problem. We are very happy, and my wife is very kind on me. And nowadays, there is some Quran class and some, tafsir class and all nearby my masjid. So then, this is just, friendly, some kind of discussion only, even not only for me, even for my friends and all. So then these, family people, they are getting together, and they are going for the, masjid for the Quran class and hadith class and all.
Beautiful.
So, not like before. They are not preparing food, and lack of concentration on the family matters. So then when we asked, they said that no, the preparation of the food and all, it's not our duty, and really you all have to provide food for us, and really we are helping. And rather than cooking and all, just going to the masjid and praying in masjid and memorizing the Quran is more beneficial and more,
Yes.
So
do you like that, brother? Yes. So do you like that? Are you happy with that?
I am really happy, but really I wanted to know, because my missus also beside me only, not only us and even some other people also. We wanted to know the something like cooking and some kind of family matters. That is, going masjid is better than the maintaining the family.
All right, the Sheikh is here, and he'll be responding to you, brother Nizar from Qatar.
And
yes.
Really, I especially thank to our Sheikh, and really this, is very useful session, and we are regularly being in Qatar.
Barakallahu feekum, Nizar. Thank you for watching us, and thank you for calling. Jazakumullahu khairan. Sheikh Hamoud will be replying to you now. As you understood, Sheikh, that he's saying that the women now, maybe wives, are telling their husbands, well, we're going to the masjid, we're praying, we're memorizing Quran. So, you should help also in the house affairs, but there's a bit of a complaint here as well that, the woman might leave some housework to go.
We go back to the same, what you started about as example, Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Akhil Kareem, I want to say to those our sisters who said, we are going to, okay, this is a good thing that you take care of the Quran, study, memorize the Quran, go to the masjid. But, if Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam was helping his wives You know, he used to do, he said, helping his family, Rasulullah sallam. He used to sweep his own house. He used to sew, his clothes. He used to clean, you know. If Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam is doing this, so what about the wife? You know, your responsibility, you know, I will say that your responsibility, doing your duties to your husband in the house comes first, more than you can learn the Quran at house, you can make salah at house. And you know, my sisters, you know, I will tell you that what Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he said, you know, the best place for the woman actually performing salah in your house is much, you will be rewarded than going to the masjid.
A lot of husbands tell this to their wives, but they are not convinced.
Sorry?
A lot of husbands tell this hadith to their wives, but you still find the wives want to go to masjid.
No, I'm not saying, no. By the way, that's, you see, Rasulullah sallam forbid men to stop their wives going to the masjid. You know, you see, he said, لا تمنعوا إماء الله من إلى بيوت الله. You see, Rasulullah sallam, or the same meaning. Rasulullah sallam, actually, you know, nobody, no husband has the right, you know, even a father has no right, you know, to stop his daughter if she, you know, she wants to go to perform salah like Taraweeh, like Jum'ah, you know. But I said, you know, this lady taking excuse not to do her duties towards her husband for like cooking, cleaning. She said, no, I'm going to the masjid. No, this is not excuse. You know, you should do your job first towards your husband, because you know your husband is your hellfire and you're a paradise. In the say Rasulullah said, "Huwa jannatik wa huwa narik." Your husband, for any lady, is any wife, her husband is like, you know, like a hellfire or paradise for her. She must obey him, she must take care of him, you know, and then at the same time she can go to the masjid or can memorize Quran at home. But you know, and I want, this is a, you don't know, you know, the lady. If you don't do that, he may think of somebody else. You know, this is a warning for them.
All right. Sheikh, dear brothers and sisters, allow us now to watch a video clip about a child imitating his father in bad deeds. So let's watch and come back, and the Sheikh will be commenting on that video clip. We talked about the role model issue, so we know that anything bad done by the father or the mother will be inevitably imitated by the children. Let's watch.
You are never alone. You are never alone.
Thank you for staying with us, dear brothers and sisters. Welcome back. Sheikh, you saw the clip, and the worst thing we saw, of course, was the cigarette being held.
This is actually, you know, a good clip just to show us that, you know, like father, like son, you know. I'm sure this child, you know, he saw his father, he's shaving his beard, and, you know, this is against the sunnah. You know, Rasulullah has commanded us to grow our beard and, you know, and trim our mustache. So this child, if he didn't see his father doing this, he wouldn't have done that. So this is what I get from this clip. Also,
besides the fact that it's dangerous.
Sorry,
it's dangerous. For,
also, it is dangerous for this, such a baby in this age. He's taking the razor and, you know, moving it on her face. And also, I think at the end of the clip we saw the child is trying to smoke. You know, he's trying to smoke a cigarette again. If he doesn't if he didn't see his father or one of his family members doing this, he wouldn't have done it. So actually, this clip gives us a message, you know, that, you know, be careful. You know, don't let your children see again, you know, contradiction. What you tell them and what you do. And I said, you know, really, I will also seize the chance to, because I think this boy is about 7 years old. And this is actually the right age. Because remember, you know, Rasulullah said, you know, order or command your children for salah when he's 7. And, you know, beat him when he's 10. You know, I don't, by the way, let me take, you know, beating not to mean you slap him in the face or you kick him or you punch him in the face, you know. Just beating him, you know, just, you know, actually just to remind him, like, you know, with the maswak, you know, slap him, you know, very slightly, very, you know, on his back, just to remind him. But, you know, this age, 7 years old, is the best time to raise up your children properly. Also, Umar al-Khattab, he said, play with your child when he's 7, okay? And then, you know, teach him good manners from 7 to 14, another 7. And he said, be his friend after 14, another 7. This means between 14 years old and 21, you should be his friend. And this is actually, you know, good teaching. If every father really adopt this teaching, inshallah, definitely you will have, you know, very Muslim, a new Muslim generation, inshallah, from our children, inshallah.
Barakallahu feekum, Sheikh. And we do thank those who did that video clip. Also about the any talk by the parents. The kids are like parrots sometimes. I mean, they just keep repeating whatever they hear. Sometimes they gather, they grasp the whole meaning. They know that it could be something bad. They're not sure exactly what that is, but they know that it's something not really likable. Other times they really don't know what they are saying at all. It's just that there are parrots repeating the words. So when we talk about role modeling, how careful should parents be when they talk in front of their children?
Very good question. This is absolutely, again, because as you just mentioned, you said the children are like parrots. So, you know, the parents, both of them, they should be careful when, you know, choosing the word and not really using, you know, bad words in front of the children. And the main important thing, don't lie on the children. Never ever lie on the children. Because believe me, if once the child really, you know, find out that you're a liar, he will never trust you again. So this is, I'm giving warning to myself and to all parents. You know, I say, don't lie on your children. Don't tell them lies. Don't let them hear any, you know, slandering or abusing other. Don't let them hear bad words, because he will exactly. And
don't let them see you lie as well. I mean, you shouldn't lie, first of all, because I mean, you're going to be the one suffering or paying the price in the hereafter. But I was just going to say, don't let them know that you are lying, for instance, over the phone to someone. Of course. I mean, because if they see that, they will think it's normal.
I'll give you an action, you know, really a real thing. You know, you know, sometime the father, you know, at home, and somebody call him by phone, and then the child go pick up the phone, and he said, and the caller said, "Is your father there?" Then the father said, "Hey, tell him I'm not here. I'm not here."
Right.
This is a lie. This is a lie. As a matter of fact, Rasulullah said, if you call the child to give him, you know, a candy, and then you don't, there's nothing on your hand, this is a lie. This is consider you on a lie.
So it goes also to the area of jokes and amusements and that area.
Yes.
Even that area.
Yes.
So lying jokingly is also wrong.
Yes. The only time is father is allowed to lie is, as you are aware, you know, you just lied on your wife to, you know, not to lie, you know, a real life. Just, you know, this is the only time a liar are permissible. When the husband lies on his, and the wife lies also on her husband, to tell me I love you, I am dreaming of you, this is a good lie. This is not bad lie. Just to, you know, boost up her, you know, her morale, and to feel that you really love her. I always think of you. Anytime I go, this is not a bad lie. This is actually good lie to actually, I mean, make it that you love. I mean, make the both, you know, groom and the bride, or actually the husband, they love each other more and more. There's nothing wrong with that. You know, this is the only permissible lie between spouses. But you know, to lie on your children as a father or a mother, or he see that you are a liar, or tell him, you know, or he sees sometime from you, you are actually shouting on the phone and abusing somebody, insulting somebody, or slapping, you know, like if you have, you know, a housemaid, and if he sees you, you are mistreating the housemaid at home, or missing, some family, they have their own driver. If also the child see you, you are mistreating the driver by shouting at him, slandering him, insulting him, or slapping him, he will do the same. You know, because even sometime, unfortunately, in some, you know, family, especially in the Gulf, they have too many maids at home. Sometimes you know, the child see his father or his mother lying on the couch and extending it, and he said to the housemaid, please bring me a glass of water like this. The child would do the same.
Right.
So as I said, be careful as parents what you do, what you say at front of your children.
All right, Sheikh. Dear brothers and sisters, time now for a break here on the family issues. We'll be back, inshallah, shortly to continue our discussion here. Please stay with us. Assalamu alaikum.
Never alone, you are never alone. Never alone, you are never alone.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, and welcome back. We're accompanied here by Sheikh Hamoud Shmimri, Director of the Islamic Education Foundation, Jeddah, Saudi Arabia, for the second part of this program on how to be a good role model for your children. Thank you, Sheikh, again for being with us. Now, the characteristics of the good role model. Let's talk about some characteristics like sincerity, like do what you say, and so on.
No. Alhamdulillah, salatu wassalam. Sincerity, or what we call it in Arabic, ikhlas, should be in everything you do in your life. You see, very important. This is very important. Everything should be for the sake of Allah. If anything you do is not for the sake of Allah, it will not be achieved, and then Allah will not help you. So even when you are performing salah, should be for the sake of Allah. When you are raising up your children, you should really should be sincerely for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Don't raise up your children, you know, so the people talk about you. Do not let your intention, okay, that you are raising children properly, so all the people talk about me. In other words, you know, just for show off. No, if you do this, maybe you don't achieve what you're looking for. I mean, you will not achieve your goals towards your children. Everything you do should be completely solely for the sake of Allah. Sincerity for the sake of Allah. Don't do it for the sake of people. And there is one more thing, brother. You know, in the first episode, I forgot to mention it. There are a weapon, very important weapon for parents. Many parents are disregarding, or maybe they forgot about it. We call supplication ad-du'a. Ad-du'a mukh al-ibadah. Ad-du'a is a very effective weapon. Believe me. When Ali ibn Abi Talib, if I'm not mistaken, was asked, what is the distance between, you know, heaven and the earth? He did not say 100 millions of kilometers or miles. He said an accepted dua.
Subhanallah.
Yeah. See, this is the distance you care for, not miles, kilometers, meters. He said an accepted dua when you are standing. Exactly. Yeah. This is that's if my slave ask about me, you will find me very close to them. That's right. So a dua. No, I just would like to remind, you know, our viewers and fathers and mothers, really not to forget this weapon. You know, whatever happened to your son, your daughter, don't lose hope. Don't abandon him. Don't just disregard him. I am taking the chance, actually, seizing the chance for my brother and sister to warn them, don't please keep barrier between you and your son, or mother between her and her daughter. Because many children, they want to complain. They want to have dialogue with their father. They want somebody to listen to them. They have problems, especially the teenager, 15 and above. Same thing for the daughters, Sometimes the daughter doesn't find, open ears by her mother. The son, same thing. So what's going to happen? This son, who is 15, 16, 17 years old, who found his father is not listening to him, every time he comes, he kick him out. Every time he wants to talk to him, he said, my father, I have problems, I want to talk to you, I want you to listen to me. He said, I don't have no time. Because then he will find himself forced, you know, to go to other people and find other people who are actually, you know, not good people.
He might take other role models.
Yes, exactly. And you know, they may mislead him, you know. And then the father will be sorry when it's too late. Same thing for mother. And then the mother will be sorry when it's too late for her daughter that she didn't listen to her. So I'm advising, you know, the parents to be careful, you know. But again, absolutely, first of all, sincerity and being good example yourself for them. This, inshallah, will help the children to be good, inshallah.
Barakallahu feekum, Sheikh. Allow us, Sheikh, and dear brothers and sisters, to now watch a clip for Sheikh Yusuf Estes talking about how to be a good and positive role model to your children. Let's watch Sheikh Yusuf Estes.
You are never alone. You are never alone.
First of all, I too am a parent, and I have children, and I'm in the United States. So when it was time to put them in school, I couldn't imagine I would put my children in that school. That was the first thing. The American public school system. To me, it's a toilet. I can't stand it, because the public school is just so bad. So I put my children in homeschool, and we taught them at home. But I don't want to go off into that too far. I want to tell you something else. At the time of the Prophet ﷺ, his followers experienced being outnumbered very much by non-Muslims. But it didn't stop them from practicing as much Islam as they could. And their children saw that, and they had big respect for their parents. Unfortunately, some of us today, we are copying the ways of non-Muslims, and then we wonder why our children act like they do. But the children are seeing us. They see us, we don't even look like Muslims anymore. They see us saying the wrong thing, doing the wrong thing. So then when we tell them do the right thing, they can't. They just can't. It doesn't make any sense. Like a man who says, don't smoke. It's really bad for you. It's really bad. If I do this, what will happen? My children will grow up smoking and telling their children, don't smoke. That's all that will happen. So they will do what we do. They don't hear you, they see you. So try your best in everything you do and your family does in front of the children, and always to do what is real Islam. And insist that your children are with you as much as you can be with them. Do not spend your time with extra jobs, make extra money, because all that extra stuff is keeping you away from them. And you basically are selling your children to shaitan for every hour extra that you work, thinking, oh, I made more money, I'll get them a bigger house, I'll get them a new PlayStation, I'll get them some new Game Boy, I'll get them a new telephone. And all the time you're away from them, shaitan is taking them further away from Islam. Your time is what they need, nothing else. Your time. They don't want your money, they don't want the toys, they want your time. Spend time with them, good time, quality time. Recite your Quran to them in the morning. Wallahi, I spent every morning with my daughters. I had 2 daughters at home when I came to Islam. My other children were grown by then. Every morning we would get up and do Salat al-Fajr. And then we would take out the Quran and we would start reciting. And imagine, I can't even say the Arabic words correctly. Even now I have a lot of trouble pronouncing words. But we still did it anyway. Today, I'm very happy when my granddaughter, who's now living in Saudi Arabia, is talking to me on the telephone. She just turned 3 years old. She was one of the things I wanted to go to Saudi to see, but I didn't get to see her. 3 years old, and I listened to her reciting the Quran on the telephone. Oh my God, this is so beautiful. Your time, brother. Spend your time with your children. Spend it with the Quran. And stay, you know, Riyadh al-Salihin. just read some hadith to them in the evening. And then talk about these things in life that they have a problem with. Listen to them. You don't have to be an expert in anything to listen. Just listen. Let them finish. Don't interrupt them. They will love you so much because they're looking for somebody who cares. This is why these children go away from their parents. Why do children go to the streets? Why do they go to drugs, alcohol? They go to those things because they want something. They don't know what they want. But I'm going to tell you what they need. They need you. They need you to show them Islam. Show them the way to Allah. And you can do that.
You are never alone. You are never alone.
Barakallahu feekum, Sheikh Yusuf Estes, subhanallah.
Good talk.
Yeah. Sheikh Hamoud, many points, some of which you mentioned, including the barrier when Sheikh Yusuf was saying that you have to listen. That's the barrier you were talking about. You have to remove that barrier. Right. Yeah. He also, Sheikh Estes said that they need your time more than anything else, and they see you, they don't hear you, they see you. And allow me also to ask you about indeed the importance of learning Quran at a young age. Because if you grow older, it's going to be more difficult to learn, and there is some kind of love or attachment that will be there if you learn it at a younger age. Isn't it?
It's exactly like a new hard disk and an old hard disk. Same thing, apply. If you just wait until your son or your daughter are 15, 16. It's going to be too late. That's what I said, the Rasulullah always mentioned the age of 7. So the age of 7 is actually because when the child reaches 7 years old, he can differentiate between wrong and right. And he can observe and he can understand things. So that's why Rasulullah said, command your children for Salah at 7. So again, even Quran, do not wait until the child is 15, 16, 7, then you take him to Quran. And now alhamdulillah, in most of the Muslim country, we have what you call Quran circles at the masajid. So at least register your son. If you yourself don't have time, at least take him to the masjid and let him learn Quran. But again, when he's still young, when he is 7, 8, 9, don't wait until he's 15, 16. Even 16, 17, I'm not saying it's too late, but it's better when he's still young, because he can digest, he can memorize easily than when he is 15 years old. And also, same thing, don't take him to the Quran, and yourself, you don't take care of the Quran. And the same thing, contradiction, talk about contradiction. And also let your child see you that you take care of the Quran. Anything also, I think it's one of the good habits that you bring your children together at home, even for Salat al-Qiyam, or even Salat or even make it, volunteer prayer. Don't lead them. No, let your child lead you. Don't you as a father stand as imam. No, let your son who memorize even al-Ikhlas, Qul Allahu Ahad, okay, tell him, my son, okay, you will be the imam. Adopt him, to take the responsibility, to be the courage. Not
starting from which age?
Even if he's 7. Even if he's 7, but he memorized some Quran, let at home, I said, adopt him, train him to be imam or to lead. So then he will be happy. Oh, I am leading my father, I'm leading my, brothers and sisters. This is a good habit. As Sheikh Yusuf mentioned that he woke up, and then he let your son, I don't mean, of course, the daughter, no, because the woman should not lead the men. But your son, your son, let him lead you. Let him be the imam at home. Just as a training, 2 rak'ah, 4 rak'ah, the sunnah. You should do it at home. This is very important. And again, don't wait when your son is too old. Not only for the Quran, for everything, for raising him up, teaching up. You want your son and your daughter to be really good, righteous person. Don't wait when they pass the age of puberty. You should really start when they're still children, because as I said, they are still, like the new tape, the cassette. When you are using it many times, then you will have, distortion, in the tape after it's passed. But when it's a new tape, actually, you will hear very clear. Same thing apply to the children.
I'm sure you'll be hearing Sheikh many voices watching us, our brothers and sisters watching us, saying, we're trying our best, we're trying to be good models, but you know, the boy or the girl is too naughty, he or she doesn't want to study at all. When they go up to Salah, most of the time they are lazy, and when they do, they want to play around even during Salah. They will love me if I just would let them play all the time.
Of course.
And they'll be mad at me if I remind them you have an exam tomorrow, or if I shout at them and I tell them when you pray before Allah, you should remember who you're standing before. So this is not the way you should do it. But you as parents, you're doing this out of love for your kid and because you want his or her interests. But that could in itself you know, cause friction in the relationship and in turn affect the role modeling issue. So what do we do here?
I just answer you with the ayah, وَلَا تَقْنَطُ مِنْ رَحْمَةِ اللَّهِ. Don't really lose hope in the mercy, the mercy of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And always have hope in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And never to have short breath. So people sometimes they have short breath, you know, they just try once, twice and they stop. No, never lose hope in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. You know, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He's the one, He's flipping the hearts, مُقَلِّبَ الْقُلُوبِ. So you never know, you know, don't lose. Even I said, remember in the beginning I said, the best time is when he's too young, but it doesn't mean that you lose hope when he is older. No. You always have dua. And I also want to add something.
The weapon you talked about.
I'm sorry?
The weapon that you talked about.
Yeah, the weapon I said. And motivation also. You know, motivations, you know, by giving them prizes, giving them gifts, you know, encouraging them, giving them money. But don't ever let the boy know that, okay, if you perform salah, I give you money. And he said, okay, I'll keep praying. Since you're going to give money, I'll pray. No, don't give him this impression. No, I said, I'm just encouraging you, you know, because I love you, because you are pleasing Allah by salah. That's why I'm doing it. And also, there is one more important thing. Let's talk about salah now. You must teach your son or daughter why you are performing salah. Don't just let him like a monkey. He just imitate you, resemble, and he doesn't know why you're praying. Why you are fasting. Yeah, why we are performing salah. Why? And to whom we are performing salah. And who commanded us to perform salah. And also remind him of Jannah also, that the reward is Jannah. And what is Jannah? And what is hellfire? Why we are fasting? Who commanded us to be fasting? Why give zakah? Why give charity? I don't want really, I'm against, you know, really the parents who just teach their children this in the pillar of Islam blindly. Take it or leave it. No. You must explain to them. Okay, tell them why you have to make salah, why you have to perform salah, why you have to fast, why you have to be good, why you should not lie, why you should not bribe, why you should not steal. You have to tell them this is Islam. And what is the difference between Islam and other religion? You know, once the child really observe and digest this instruction, I think inshallah with the dua, with the, you know, keep trying and trying and trying, he will inshallah be straight and
Barakallah fikum, Shaykh. Thank you for these very important points you touched upon. Allow us now to take in Sister Barira from Nigeria. Assalamu alaikum, Sister. Jazakumullahu khairan. Thank you for calling us. Go ahead.
Thank you very much. Assalamu alaikum, Ya Shaykh.
Alaikum assalam wa barakatuh.
Yes, my question is regarding these family issues. What happens, or what is the ruling, or I don't even know what to say, regarding a mother and a father, and it seems the mother is always seems to be playing the role of both, and the children sometimes, you know, they take offense, or, you know, the mother becomes the not so nice one, because she seems to be always the one telling them, do this, do that, don't do this, don't do that, you know, right from early age to teenage and to in their 20s. You know, if the mother is the one always saying, do this and don't do that, and to the extent of, you know, sometimes she makes a lot of mistakes, but she's trying only to do her best, because she has to play the role of the mother and the father at the same time, because the father is always either busy or not available. But he, you know, if he provides to his to the best of his ability. So what is the ruling regarding that? What can a mother do, to make her children, even if they are grown up or young ones, understand that, all she's trying to do is to do her best.
Very, very, very important question. Thank you very much, Sister Barira from Nigeria. Very important question, Sheikh. It does happen a lot. You could find one of the partners, and maybe usually the mother, because the father, as the sister said, is at work or spends little time with his kids, so he wants to be as friendly as he can, and he's the one cuddling and doing all the nice things. But because the mother is staying all the time with the kids, so she's the bad person, and in the eyes of the small kids.
I understand.
And she's the one shouting, and she's the one ordering, and so and the father is doing all the nice things, and the little time he spends in giving all the gifts and so on. So the mother gets jealous in that case, or frustrated, let's say.
I understand.
But at the same time, she wants to do her job because she's responsible here. And this is related to the question I asked before. How do we approach this? There is a tough love approach. Sometimes if you're too lenient, it causes a problem. If you're too harsh, it causes a problem.
That's right.
So how do we approach this?
I would like really to seize the chance to give my appreciation and dua to all mothers in the whole world. Really, we have to admit it as husband and as father that our wives and the mothers are doing much, much better job than us. Definitely all mothers are suffering. You see, we men leave home in the morning, going to work, stay about 8 to 10 hours outside, especially our wives who doesn't work, who's staying at home taking the children. And they are the one who's suffering. They are suffering from the time of pregnancy and delivery and feeding the baby. We men, especially at night, once the child cry, what we do? We said, take the child out. Go you and him out. So, imagine a mother who's staying at home, almost 10 hours, while you as a husband or father outside. How do you expect her, to be, you just came late at home. You did not really went through frustration with the children like she did. And that, you should be honest, you should be fair. I say this to myself as a father and as a husband. I'm saying it to all really husband and fathers also. They should be fair with the mother because she is the one suffering at home.
So Sister Barira is asking, so when mothers are strict with their kids, with her kids, this is good, right?
No, I don't want them to be very strict. But I mean, the father should not really take the advantage, to be so nice, so soft. And he said, look at me. Well, you were not in the house all day. So you should be nice. You should be soft, because, but she has the reason, the mother, she has the reason why she is too, restrict. And also why is she telling him, don't do that, don't do that. But again, I will say to the mother, don't always say don't. Always explain why. Why you tell him don't, why you tell him do. Always. And I'm against really, forcing the children to do something if they are not convinced. You have to really to convince the child why you tell him don't do that and why you tell him do. But again, for what she said, that the father, he's always lovable by children because he's soft, because he's out of the home all the day. He didn't go through frustration as the mother and his wife did. So definitely, the wife, she's been there 10 hours having trouble with them, having frustration with them.
In all cases, Sheikh, I believe that there has to be a balance between the tough love approach and being strict and firm, and at the same time being nice and friendly and caring and loving.
I remember some common saying my father used to tell me, he said, don't be soft to be squeezed, rather being hard to be broke. So be in the middle. And we are Muslim, ummatan wasata. We are, in the middle of all nations. So al-wasatiyya, just be in the middle. Don't be harsh and don't be, don't be that soft and don't be that hard. Just in the middle,
Down the middle. That was a famous also saying by Dr. Sheikh Yusuf Estes as well. Down the middle.
Down the middle. We are the nation of the middle.
Indeed. Thank you very much, Sheikh Hamoud. Unfortunately, we're out of time. Thank you very much, dear brothers and sisters. On behalf of you, we thank very much Sheikh Hamoud Shmimri, Director of Islamic Education Foundation, Jeddah, Saudi Arabia. Always a pleasure to have you with us. Jazakumullahu khairan. And thank you, dear brothers and sisters, for watching the program. Please do keep your emails flowing at familyissues@huda.tv. Also, please continue to contact us via our Facebook account, facebook.com/HudaTV. That's one word. We will meet, inshallah, next week, same time. Until then, assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Never alone, you are never alone. Through sorrow and through grief, through happiness and peace, you are never alone. So now, as you long for your past, prepare for your future, but knowing nothing's gonna last. You see, this life is but a road, a straight and narrow path to our final abode. So travel well, O Muslim, and paradise will be your home. And always remember that you are never alone.